Everybody, let's go ahead and get started. I apologize for our delayed start. I thought what we do today, I'm kind of back upstairs today rather than on my um, in my studio. And basically, I thought we'd go back to kind of old school. I don't have a drummer of the week this week because I really want to get us back playing, and I feel like I'm doing more talking than having you all play, which is sometimes good. But I thought we would do some cadences today, and so I actually have the written cadences and I have the music for the cadences, and we could look at the different parts and try them out. And so I thought that may be kind of fun. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And let's see, make sure that I'm sharing the sound as well. Okay, I know my screen. So, little funny story. I forget sometimes I'm in medicine. And when I was watching back um, one of my recent presentations with you all, I noticed lots of medical topics on my desktop. I'm like, they must really wonder about me. But yeah, you know, my day job is in medicine. So you do not know what you're going to see on my desktop. So just beware. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and pull up T Rex. So again, let's kind of quickly talk about it and then hopefully getting us playing some of these things. As you see here, there's a snare line, a tenor line, a bass drum line, a cymbal line. And so basically, it's pretty short. Most cadences are pretty short. And so let's see if I can find the music and we can listen along. And I also have the music in different, um, actually, I want to start with a different one that I have two versions. We're going to look at Apollo. It's going to look pretty much very similar. Okay, so it's the same kind of thing. We've got a snare line, tenor, bass, and cymbals. And let's try to play. I'm going to play the slowed down version and then the slowest version. And I'll try to kind of use my cursor. We'll maybe start with the cymbal line because that's kind of the easiest one. And if you kind of look, the cymbal line is basically, you know, just kind of like sort of like, well, in the beginning we have a crash, chick, and then a sizzle. That's sort of a slide thing. And then we have these chicks going along. So those are kind of the main things. We're either going to crash, we're going to chick like a hi-hat, or we're going to do like a sizzle kind of sound. So let's go ahead and play the slowed down version. And then I have the slowest version, which is even slower. So here we go. Let's see if this plays.
Where is she?
Hi.
There she is.
We're doing cadences. So let me stop it. So let's go back there and kind of digest that again. So if we were going to play along, and we're just going to clap our hands, and we'll start with the simple part, but you can hear all that other stuff kind of grooving along, the snare, the tenors, the basses. Hopefully you can kind of hear each individual part, kind of pick them out. So basically this very first measure for the cymbals is a crash, and then a chick, and a crash, and a chick, and a sizzle. Okay, so if we were going to try that, it's going to go crash, chick, crash, chick, sizzle. Let's try it. 1, 2, here we go. Crash, chick, crash, chick, sizzle. Okay, so the crash is kind of like together. We'll do it together. In real life, it's more like this, but we'll just kind of go crash, and then we'll put our hands like this, like an alligator, chick. Okay, so it's kind of like the heels of your hands are together. That's the chick. And then the sizzle is like a slide. So let's do that again. 1, 2, here we go. Crash, chick, crash, chick, sizzle. So that's probably the hardest thing. Then once we get to A, we have a rest, chick, rest, chick. So we're playing on the ands. So it's like rest, 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 rest. And we do that forever and ever. Okay, we're just going to keep doing that for a while. How long? Well, we're going to keep going until we get to this measure. And it's a crash, crash, chick, sizzle. And then we're going to be doing chicks. But they're on the beat. So it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we do that for a while until we get down to, we have this measure. Crash, rest, crash, chick, and then there's these 2 little dots, which means we repeat back to where we see them again, which is right here. So then we have chick, 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 and then that measure again. Then we're up to C. C is rest, chick, rest, chick, rest, chick, rest, chick, and we do that for a while until we get almost to the very last line. It is the last line. Crash, rest, crash, rest, crash, rest, crash, rest, crash. Can't see that. I need new glasses. Chick, crash, chick, crash, sizzle, chick. Okay, so we're going to do it again. This time, you can kind of follow along with your eyes, or you can try to play if you want. I'm going to slow it down even further, so it's going to sound kind of really slow. Maybe not that slow, but let's see if we can at least follow with our eyes first, and then we'll try to maybe play it. Okay, opening. Interesting. I think there's a repeat in here that we don't have, or we somehow missed on that version because they did not crash there. I wonder, we'll have to listen again, see if we can figure it out. Sorry, I have to keep kind of scrolling down. I can't get it all on one page, but what I can do later today is send this to you. And the easiest thing would be, if we do this the next few weeks, is just print it out on your own or something like that. Then we won't have to constantly, you can look at your own page and you won't have to try to follow my mouse, because I'm trying to kind of follow the music, plus I'm trying to scroll down and then go back to the repeats, and it's probably making your eyes crazy. But you get the main idea. The biggest thing is the repeat section. We definitely have a repeat section here. See those 2 little dots? And so those two little dots we're leaving, looks like, I don't have the right glasses on today, but um, definitely we're going back to here, and I think it's coming from here, but I don't see the dots, so there might be some mistakes. That's the other thing about music. Sometimes even in music books there are mistakes, believe it or not. Just like sometimes in real books you'll see a typo or something. It's rare, but it happens. Same thing in music. Sometimes they miss those two little dots, and then you kind of have to figure out, well, wait a minute, now that's not right. um, but so it's not everything in print is for real. So here, definitely we can see this B section. B to C is twice, because we do see the two dots here, and we also see them at the end. The end makes us go back to the previous where we see them at the beginning. And in this case, C, I don't see anything in C, so C is not repeated. D, I don't see D repeated, and I don't really see E repeated either. So it's just a couple of places, but certainly they weren't crashing where we were. So let's kind of maybe try this without the music first, kind of slow, just to see how it might be.
If you're playing, can you show us your hands? Because we can't see only your head.
Yes. Oh, you can only see my head?
There's a huge gap. Lower, lower, lower. A little lower.
Because I can see myself.
There. That's better.
Is that better?
Yeah, but if you're hitting on things like drums and cymbals and whatever, we can't see that when you do it.
I'm just clapping right now.
Okay.
And I can see myself, so I can see what you see. So we should be good. But I'll put my hands up higher. So that very first measure, let's try it together. So I'll give you 1, 2, here we go. Crash, chick, crash, chick, sizzle. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Crash, chick, crash, chick, sizzle. All right, one more time. So it's basically a crash, alligator, crash, alligator, slide. 1, 2, here we go. Crash, chick, slide. Okay, last time. 1, 2, here we go. Crash, chick, slide. And ultimately we'd speed this up pretty fast, so it'd be like crash, chick, slide. But for now we'll keep it nice and slow. Once we get to A, we have that rest, chick, rest, chick, rest, chick, rest, chick, rest, chick. So let's try that. How many times do we do it? 1 measure, 2 measure, 3 measures, 3 measures. Let's do 3 measures. 1, 2, here we go. Rest, chick, rest, chick, rest, chick, rest, chick. Second measure. Third measure. And. So we're on the ands. We're not on the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. So you could stomp your foot on the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4 to help you. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we would be marching. So cadences, we're marching. So that really, our left foot, then our right foot, we're marching as we're doing these chicks on the offbeats. Okay, so that might be slightly tricky, but really not too bad. That's a real common cymbal rhythm, is to be on the ands, not always just on the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. It creates a lot of interest when you're playing on the upbeat, what we call, or the offbeat. So the 1 and 2 and 3 and so if you think about disco music, all of disco music is still popular, even though people don't call it disco music, but it's where the hi-hat was like boom shunk shunk shunk. So the bass drum was on the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, because people like to dance and they want that boom boom boom. But then the hi-hat was on the and, so it's a lot like this. Boom shunk shunk shunk. So that sound is a popular sound in music. You also hear it in orchestras where you have the bass drum on the 1 and the snare drummers on the and. So boom chick, boom chick, boom chick, boom chick, boom chick. So it's a super common rhythm in lots of different genres. So this is just It's a real groovy thing, you know, during cadences it's pretty popular. Okay, so we've done our 3 measures of that. Now we have this measure before B where we have crash, crash, chick, sizzle. All right, so it's going to be crash, crash, chick, sizzle. Let's try it. 1, 2, here we go. Crash, crash, chick, sizzle. And then we're at letter B. And we have the chicks, but this time the chicks are on the beat. How many? We've got 3 measures. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're on the next line down where we have a crash, rest, crash, chick. Let's try that. 1, 2, here we go. Crash, rest, crash, chick. And then we have two little dots, which means we repeat back. And we're going to do B again. Let's see if I can get it all on the same page. That would help. All right, so we're right here. We're going to do these 3 measures and jump down here. Because remember, cymbals are always on the lowest line in our little staff here. Snares have the top line always. Tenors have the second line always, basses have the third line, and cymbals have the last line. Okay, so this is called the score. This is what the leader has. And it's nice for all the players to have the score, especially between snares and tenors, because I want to hear my part and I want to know what their part is, so that my part's sometimes with them and sometimes opposite them, and it's nice to know, you know, visually what their part is. So ultimately, you might have your own individual music to read, but I think the score is helpful for players to at least look at so they know how their part fits into everybody else's. So sometimes we're together and we should be together, and sometimes we're opposite and shouldn't be together, and you need to know which ones those are so you don't get it wrong. So here we are. We're going to start at B right here, second time. We're going to do those 3, and then come down and do this last one. 1, 2, here we go. Chick, 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 chick. Second measure, chick, chick, chick. Third, chick, chick, chick. Crash, rest, crash, chick. All right, we are up to letter C now. Now let's see, we'll take it down a little bit so we can see. I can't take it too far. So here we are at letter C. This is C. We've got a rest, check, rest, check. We do that 1, 2, 3, 4 measures worth. 1, 2, here we go. Rest, chick, 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 rest, chick. Now we're at letter D, where we continue that for 4 measures. 1, 2, here we go. Rest, chick, 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 rest, chick. We're up to letter E, and this is the last line. We're at the bottom, again, where the cymbals are. We've got crashes. 1, 2, here we go. Crash, rest, crash, rest, crash, rest, crash, rest, crash, chick, crash, chick, crash, sizzle, chick. Okay, and that sizzle is not on the count of 2, it's on the 2E. So it's going to go 1, 2, E is where that sizzle is going to be. Rest, 4. So the rhythm in the last measure is 1, 2, E, 4. Okay? So it's ba, ba, ba. Almost like what's called a quarter note triplet again, even though they didn't write it like that. Ba, ba, ba. Okay? So shall we try it with the slowest? Believe it or not, that's the slowest version. Let's try it with the slowest version again. Get it open one more time. bit. I thought we had a repeat there. I broke my glasses yesterday also. So I've got glasses that are at the wrong distance right now, which is really a struggle. I have probably 10 pair reading glasses, and some of them are for here, some of them are from here, some of them for here, and these are not the right ones. So I super glued them this morning though, so I hope to be back in business with my normal glasses. So I said repeat, but we didn't repeat. We actually continued on. So we're at B, and I'm going to go back just a little bit in the song and get us back where we're supposed to be. A little bit further back, right about here. So let me go back those last little bit. That was right. Just it wasn't real obvious. This part seemed like it was all right. I didn't hear this, but let's try it again. Okay, it is right. For some reason in that first one I didn't hear it. It wasn't that obvious. How do I know it was right? I looked at the snare part. Duka, 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 daddle, daddle, do, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, ba da da da, ba ba ba. That's their part. And so basically they have rim snare, rim snare. You know, they've got all these really cool accents, and maybe we'll get to the snare part another time. But you know, we could sing the tenor part. The tenor part is doopa dappa 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 da 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 ba da 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 bo ba ba. You know, on different drums, but the rhythm is there. And just to give you an idea of the bass line, da 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 ba 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 da 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 ba 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 da 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 da. Da 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 ba da 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 ba ba ba. They all have that. If you look down the row, they all kind of have that similar, but like over here, it's different, right? It's like if you look at the snare line, do da bo bo di da do do. They're kind of going back and forth. Do 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 do. So you can kind of see, you know, the people who write this, it's not just willy-nilly. It's just, you know, all these things have to line up and make sense. These are different parts talking, and sometimes they emphasize different things. So it's kind of neat to, you know, dissect the score and kind of see what's going on. So maybe let's try it one more time, playing the cymbal line, and then we'll try another one. And my goal for this would be like, you know, ultimately someday, believe it or not, maybe we could actually attempt to play some of this stuff. And, you know, with different instruments, we can revise it, water it down, change it up, but it's not out of the question. These are like actually what are considered pretty simple cadences. So like this is high school kind of stuff. So let's see, let's listen to it again, the slowest version, and try to play along. hard for me to see the difference. A chick is CHK and a crash is a CR. Okay, so it's crash, chick, crash, sizzle, chick. Okay, so kind of cool. Do y'all like this? Cadences? All right, so let's speed it up just for fun. Okay, this is also a slowed down version, but I want to just give you a little bit more idea of where we're headed. And it should be kind of like you're walking down the street. You know, you're not running down, but that was kind of a slow walk. Okay. Pretty cool. All right, let's do another one. So that was Apollo, and I'll send it to you so you can kind of, take a look at it. I think it'll be easier if you have it printed out, if you're able to do that, put it on a big screen. Let's do another one that I have the music to. So we might have done a little bit of this last week. This is the zombie squirrels. Again, you can see the snare line up top, tenor line here, basses, and the cymbal. Again, we got crash, 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 chick, crash, 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 chick, crash, 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 chick, crash, crash, chick, chick. Okay, those are our first measure. If you look at the snare line, they have these rims. So it's dutta rim, dutta rim, dutta rim, rim shot, dutta rim, dutta rim, dutta rim, rim shot, pop. Dutta do. Then it goes opposite. Rim rim snare, rim rim snare, rim rim snare, pop, rim rim snare, da 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 da. Okay, 3-anda, 4-anda. So they're playing on the drum, on the rim, and then a rim shot. The rim shot is the one that sounds like a gunshot, where you take your stick, half on the head and half on the rim, and you hit it together, and it makes a pop. And they do that a lot in marching. All these like pops that sound really cool. And then sometimes we just hit on the rim, just makes it high pitched ticky sound. Okay. The tenors, as you know, are all of 5 different drums, so they're pitched, so they are more melodic. And then the basses in this case are all playing the same thing, but we've talked about in the past, bass drums can also be melodic up and down, but in this case they're all playing doo-da, 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 pop, doo-da, 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 bop, bop, doo-da, doo-da. So you can kind of see how this is going to sound. And do we have any repeats? Whenever we look at a new piece of music, it's good to do we have repeats so we don't get surprised all of a sudden and be like, oh, there's dots, where are we going? So I'm skimming and I don't see any of that, so that helps. So let's listen to it. So here's the slowed down version. Kind of focus on the cymbal line, if you would. Zombie squirrels. 1, 2, here we go. So it's really not hard at all. You're either crashing or chicking, and there's nothing too complicated. No offbeats. So let's try it. So every time you see the colored in one, it's a crash, and this one, and the little X is a chick, like a hi-hat, chick, like an alligator mouth, okay? The other ones are the crash, the loud ones. So basically, just if we were going to sing the first four, it's crash, 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 chick, crash, 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 chick, crash, 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 chick, crash, crash, chick, chick. So this last measure is different. We have three that are the same and one that's different. So music is about patterns. Recognize a pattern. Boom, look at it right away and figure it out. Usually it's not too, it's like a puzzle sometimes, but most of the time, you know, that helps you to figure it out so that you don't get there and be like, oh, what am I supposed to do? I already know I got three of the same and one that's different. So I can zone out over here because I know I'm just counting, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now something new, and I can focus on that rather than to be like all worried. So, and it gets easier with time. So in the beginning, I know you have to like look at every single thing and know it's, you know, anticipate, but once you kind of do it for a while, you kind of know, okay, the first three are the same, so let me just do three in a row. I don't have to like look at every single one. I just know it's, if I memorize this, I just do it 3 times. Okay, so that's a lot easier to think about than what do I have in this measure? What do I have in this measure? What do I have in this measure? 3 are the same, and then I can be ready when this comes. I know that's the different one, and then I'm at letter A. Letter A, I've got crash, chick, 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 chick. And then we continue on, and all the rest are chicks. So all I have is one crash, and everybody else is a chick. All right, so it's crash, chick, 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 chick. Now the hard thing about that is I don't want to do too many or too few. I got to know where I am. I can't just like chick along and zone out. I got to know, where am I? Am I in the second measure, the third measure, the fourth measure? So you still have to count. But basically, you would do like crash 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Here's B. That's how I would keep track of it. You don't want to guess. You have to know where you are. So you know still have to count, but you don't have to like look at every measure like painstakingly. You just know I'm just going to keep doing this. I just got to pay attention where I am, and then I get to B. Once I get to B, I have the same thing, crash, and then I'm just chicking along. Chick, 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 and chick, 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 chick. Okay, so that's the same thing. Then I get to C, crash, crash, rest, rest. And what's next? Oh, and then I just keep doing that. Crash, crash, rest, rest, crash, crash, rest, rest, crash, crash, rest, rest, crash. So, you know, patterns. So let's do it again. Play along if you like. I will do my best to play as well as scroll. And here we go. Zombie squirrels. 1, 2, here we go. Easy. The idea would be to memorize it, because when we're marching down the street, we don't want to be looking at music, right? It doesn't look good. You want to be, you know, jamming along with the music. So you want to memorize it, and it's really, once you've played it 1,000 times, you pretty much know it, and you'll be singing it in your sleep. So the cadences are usually short, pretty easy, pretty funky. You don't want them too complicated. You want them to groove along so that people are like dancing while you're marching by in the parade. And then once you play the cadences over and over, then the whole group plays a song, and then the horn players get a rest, and the drummers keep going in cadence for a while until the drum major, that was the word I couldn't think of last week, I don't know why I blanked on drum major. Then when the drum major decides, okay, there's a lot of people here, let's play that song again, the whole group plays the song, and then the drummers go back to the cadence, and you just do that for a few miles and then it's over. So that's kind of the idea behind cadences and their use. And so they're super fun. So this one was Zombie Squirrel. Just for fun, let's look at another person's part. Let's look at the tenor line. So first we kind of like can just look at it, and we can kind of almost sing it. You can kind of tell what's happening. Doobot, 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 click. Doobot, 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 clip, dub. Doobot, 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 click. Doobot, doobot, rest. Dooba dooboo. Da da doo doo. Down the line. High next. So it's high to low. Do 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 do. And that's a common kind of a run. Then these are our rolls. Roll, roll, doobot, doobot. Roll, roll, doobot, doobot. Or these are going doop bop, doop bop. These are going bop doop, low to high. I'm not really singing the pitches, I'm just singing the rhythm. And it continues on like that. What else do they have? A lot of the same. When you get to C, da 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 da. Let's see. 3E and 4E and da. Da 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 is how that goes. And the same thing if we were to kind of look at the bass line, they have a lot of the same thing. Do dot, do dot, do dot, bop. So you can kind of see these lines all kind of line up, and then when we've got the do 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 do, they've got straight across. Dot 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 dot. So you kind of see how this fits together. Anything else spectacular? The bass drums have a lot of the same thing as the tenors do. And if you actually look at the snare line, you know, we're all playing basically the same thing, even the accents. A lot of times we'll play the same rhythm, but the accents are split. So the snares will go the first part and the tenors will go the second part, and they mix and match and make it really interesting. In this case, everybody's got pretty much the same thing. So maybe let's follow along. This time we'll listen, and I'll bounce my mouse along with the tenor line just so you can kind of hear and try to listen for the tenors. Try to pick them out. They have a different sound than the basses do, and they have a different sound than the snares do, even though they're playing the same thing. Here we go. 1, 2, here we go. Kind of hear how that goes. And stop. What I noticed about these little rolls, they're actually not complete rolls. These little has like a Z, it's like a buzz. So what you do with your stick is you kind of crush, kind of like that. So it's not an open roll, it's more of a buzz kind of a thing. So that's what you might have heard that. So that's kind of cool. So that one is Zombie Squirrels. Ooh, gosh, time's going fast since we started just a couple minutes late. Let's do one more and then open it up to chat. Oh, you'll love this one. Some of the names are just pretty awesome. Vomit Comet. Okay, like I did not name this. So anyway, it's only got snare, tenors, and bass. Oh, so no cymbal line on this one. But let's just kind of look at it a little bit. We see a lot of, again, it's about the same length. We have one repeated section. Let's see, is there one repeated section? Yes. B to C is repeated. How do we know? We see these little dots. Where do we go back to? Where we see them going the other direction, which is right here. So B to C gets played twice. And sometimes in these cadences, they might repeat B to C 100 times until they get the word from the drum measure, which sometimes happens. So basically you play the intro up to B, then you play B to C for 20 minutes, and then you get the signal, you finish it, and you play the song. So you would keep just repeating for a mile. Okay, that sometimes happens, or other times they just keep it going all the way. But sometimes with those repeats, you just wait for the drum major to do the whistle or put their hand up or some kind of signal. So this one has got a lot of what are called diddles, which we've kind of talked about. These little hash marks. Each one of those hash marks is a double note. So for instance, on the snares, they have a right hand and then diddle, 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 tap, diddle, 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 diddle. So that's a roll. It's a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. That's a 15 stroke roll. Bum, bum, B. Okay, and those are diddles, so that's what's happening there. Now tenors have the same thing, but they're doing it on different drums. So like right here, they're doing a tap on one, diddle, 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 on different drums. You're diddling 2 notes, and they're very distinct. We don't want them to be like messy. We want to hear them da, 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 like a machine gun. Okay, it should be nice and articulate and clean. So that's why practicing and getting your hands, we don't want sloppy. Marching is not about sloppy. It is clean and tight, and that's why I love it. Super precise. It's not just schlepping around, okay? And when you hear the difference, you'll know. When you hear a group that's really good versus maybe not so good, you'll be like, okay, now I sort of understand this. It sounds like a train wreck. Especially when you've watched those DCI videos, okay? Once you've seen that, you're never going back, right? When you see a group that's just starting out, it's so painful to watch. But you have to start somewhere and get better. So let's follow along and listen to Vomit Comet, and then we'll open it up and chat for a minute. So you heard on the snare line, tuka jacket, tuka jacket, tuka jacket, tuka jack. That's that choo-choo train beat that we've talked about before. So we have that nice beat on the and. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a tuka jacket, do. That's a really cool little funky groove. So let's just hear that one more time. And again, that's the slowed version. So the fast version is faster. But let's just listen to that one more time and see if we can follow along. All right, that's kind of cool. And did you notice, even the you heard that during that there was a bass drums, had the line right here. Look at all this bass drum action. So when the snares were just going click, 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 we had this bum 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 kind of a thing. So it was, different bass drum players, the high one, the next one, the next one, the lowest one, back up, the next one, the next one. So different people are playing, one person's playing these, one person's playing these, one person's playing these, one person's playing these. So they have to be able to play their part. And if the person behind you messes up, you don't wait for them. You got to keep going. So if you don't hear their part, you got to know where your part is. So bass drums can be, it's not just boom, boom, boom anymore. It's lots of lots of cool stuff. So let's see, let's open it up here. I'm sorry again that I cut you short today. Do y'all like cadences, learning about cadences a little bit? Anybody?
Yeah, this is great. I mean, watching, especially following on the music, this is harder than reading music because you don't have a mental tune to go along with. So just learning the patterns, the different patterns, how they fit together is just fascinating to me. But I've got a question about cadences. Are there a standard set like you have to learn for competition, like Olympic competitions where you have to do certain steps or?
No, they're all individually written. And
Wow.
sometimes the drumline instructor, the drum captain, me would write them for the group, so they were unique to us. But you can buy them, and I buy real simple ones, and then there's ones that if you've ever been to a pep rally where they play in the stands. Those are they have those, but usually a lot of schools, they have their fight song and they have their own little ditties and cheers, but so there isn't like a certain number that everybody knows. A lot of them take a theme. We've kind of talked about, like, Steve Gadd has that little thing that he's known for, or more than one. He's got probably 20 things he's known for. But the composer will take the theme and then make it their own. So like if you're a drummer, you recognize, oh, that's Steve Gadd, but it's not exactly. It's their version of the Steve Gadd thing. So there's a thing called Crazy Army, and everybody's done it, but they all do it a little different. And they kind of steal the idea and then they do it. So yeah, so it makes it a lot of fun, but they're usually very catchy. They have that, you just want to
Yeah.
dance when you hear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of it. And usually the horn players are, allowed to move a little bit. They're not just like doing this the whole time. Usually there's a little bit of rhythm, and usually the crowd is clapping along. So the cadences are repetitive, short, catchy, really pretty simple. But they're unique, usually unique. Yeah. Other questions about cadences or kind of doing this sort of thing? Anybody else have any comments? I just thought we'd get away from drum set because we always do drum set, drummer of the week, and I'm like, what can we do? Let's do a little bit with this. People seem to like it. So what I'll do later today, I will send you the written music for these ones that we've done, and maybe we'll revisit them again and try to maybe start playing some of it. I think it'll be easier if you have your own music. I can call out the letters, but it's hard to kind of for me to play along and to be scrolling and keeping track, and I don't want to confuse anybody, but they're really pretty straightforward when you look at it. The big thing is just to not miss the repeats where they are, and and we could slow it down even slower. So other questions? I know we're pretty much out of time and I want to stay on time, so I'm sorry I started a little late. Anybody else have any parting comments before we end? Hope you all have a good weekend. It's going to rain tomorrow. I will send you some music. Are you going to say something, Molly?
No, I was just going to say goodbye when it's time to say goodbye.
Okay. All right. Hey, Joanne. Want to say hello and goodbye, I guess. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome. Bye. Thanks, James.